mega screamer, completely out of nowhere. God, really nice long fish, massive fins on him.
On a 6 foot, 2 pound snipe, 28 pound 10 common.
Drifted into this beauty of a Belgian carp. Just shy of 32 pound, absolutely pristine. What a mock.
Onwards. Now for everyone that's done trips to Europe fishing, this is where all the excitement starts. We've got the car completely loaded up, which was a little bit of a game of Tetris.
It was a massive game of Tetris.
But it's luckily it's all fit in now, and we've got about half an hour till first call. But excitement's kicking in now. We've got a whole week ahead of us, 2 different venues. Hopefully we'll bang some chunks.
Nice, isn't it?
Caffeine, food. It's been such a long day.
It has been a long day.
And I think that's pretty much where we're going to start with. Today has just absolutely flown by, and up at 1 AM, drove to Folkestone, loaded the car on the Channel Tunnel. Well, you know the drill. If you've all travelled to Europe, it's a long day. And then as soon as we got here, rocked up in the car park and went to the cafe, met up with Timmy, who straight away was as hospitable as you'd like.
Oh, he's brilliant. Yeah.
And this is by far not the first. In fact, as soon as we were through the door, I think he offered us a Jupiler, I think the pronunciation is. I'm sorry if I got that completely wrong, and it was very, very welcome after a very long drive. But he got straight in with telling us about the lake, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, we went for a walk round with Timmy and Mark from the Carp Specialist, who arranges all the bookings, just to have a proper look round and just get some local knowledge, really.
And the first thing we picked up on was the presence of weed. Now, it does say this on the website, but we probably didn't quite take into account the amount of weed there is. But don't let that put you off. We spent most of the day finding spots. First of all, we went out in the boat. Glorious sunshine, so we could see down pretty clear. But even so, it took us a long time, didn't it?
It did, but there are spots out there, and we've got our rods all out, and we're pretty content for tonight.
Touches. Now, Mark has already had one. We'll show you that after this little piece here. But sorting our rods out, like I said, finding spots was the key thing, and we waded out, found nice looking spots in our margins. I think both done fairly similar things, just wading up and down, and they look like likely spots, nice little hidden areas. And from what Timmy was telling us, a lot of the anglers that come here just sort of seem to go as far as they can for some reason and think that that's the best way to go. So we've kind of gone the opposite, I think.
Yeah, and the anglers opposite us have done exactly what Timmy said.
Right up to the rope, which is
so we're hoping it's going to push them down towards us into our margins where there's next to no pressure.
Definitely. So it was a case of fish finders, finding out sort of what was out in front of us after going out in the boat and getting an initial idea. And then as soon as I found a likely area, I think you were the same, put the lead on and then fine-tune it down. I did find a nice, pretty much gravelly area in amongst what is pretty much all weed. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm presenting quite well in a likely spot, and same with you.
Yeah, we both are, aren't we? It's also quite amazing how shallow it is.
Yes.
We were probably expecting it to be quite easily 10 foot, and it's probably a maximum of about 3.5 to 4 foot.
That's pretty much what I'm fishing in as well.
Yeah.
But we'll see what the week brings, and we'll end tonight on Mark's fish. It was a lovely little common. We are both absolutely shattered. It's been a non-stop long day. I don't know how many hours we've both been up.
I'm probably about 20 at the moment.
Hopefully we'll get our heads down and either be rudely awoken
or sleep through Tuesday.
Exactly. Probably will do the same.
Yeah.
So here we go, the first fish. It's let's say a 12 LB, maybe a bit more common, pure black, and look at his stunning colors. Wow. What a way to start your trip.
Well, morning all. It's the first morning on our trip in Belgium, and it's been a pretty eventful night. I lost 2 fish overnight from the margin spot. They're even fishing locked up, they're just getting straight into them snags. So I've spent half the night wading about in the water in leaky waders. So I'm very tired, very cold, very wet, but I had a third take and managed to get this one in. So well happy. Proper dark Belgian common.
That's the first one out of the water for me. Nice common, dark one, of Timmy's lake. Nice fish. Nice small whirl. First time that I see this fish on my own lake. So it's one of the new fish on Timmy's lake.
Well, Tuesday seems to have come and nearly gone as quick as yesterday, but a lot has changed since then. Today's been much more of a day of fine-tuning our spots and rigs. I'll get onto the rigs in a second, but the spots already fairly clear yesterday from what I found from wading around, but today I borrowed the rake off of Timmy, went down to the left spot, which is already quite gravelly, where carp have clearly been feeding and using as a route. You could see that. I just cleared it a little bit more and got rid of any sort of really obvious snags that could be an issue for hook to fish. And same with the other one. It started off probably about 3.5 foot deep, and by the time I cleared all the weed and the silt, it was coming to the top of my wader. So a nice little bowl there, nice and clean, and put bait on both spots. Same with the open water rod. I thought yesterday I was fishing on a nice cleanish area, but going out with inspecting with a boat today with the Polaroids, I could see that it was actually far from it. Quite a lot of weed once again. So found another spot which I'm very happy with now, a bit further out, but still going to be using rigs, which allows me to present over any potential weed that may still be present. So the first one, the one that's fishing out quite far, is the old faithful choddy. The anywhere rig really. Well, heli safe to start with because I want to be dropping the lead. There is a lot of weed present, and then up to a choddy. It's quite far up, but that's because the weed in places is very deep, and if I do land slightly off the mark, I know that the lead's going to sink into the weed, and that's going to sit perfectly on top of any weed that may be present. Just a couple of beads, probably a couple of inches apart, to give a little bit of movement on the choddy, just so that I know it's presented nicely when it's out there. It's a bit of a chuck, so I want to be sure that when it's out there, it's fishing for me. And the margin rods, both the same, but because they're much cleaner and I'm lowering them in by hand, I'm still going with a helicopter setup, but this time I've got Ronnie rigs. So they're sitting just above the lake bed, little pop-ups, because there is still some silt about maybe little bits of weed that I missed earlier, so I know that they'll still settle perfectly on top. Heli safe system once again, so the lead will drop off. Leadless leader, pinning everything down towards the end. Nice and strong tackle, because I am fishing fairly close to snags and then fishing locked up. And hopefully tonight, after all that hard work and prep, getting sunburnt and all, sorry that camera's probably focused on me pasty white knees, but hopefully something will happen tonight.
So, as Joe mentioned yesterday, we put a fair bit of time into our spots, and it's definitely paid off. I had this lovely common, about 26.5 pound, just overnight, and there's definitely been fish on the spot as well, so hopefully we'll have a few more. What a way to start the day.
Another mid-20s. Beautiful, beautiful common. There you go, mate. Go and get your bigger brothers and sisters.
Sounds like it's breakfast time. Oh, you all right finishing the brews? Ooh, today we've got nice continental breakfast delivered straight to the swim. How about that? So it's been quite a busy morning so far. There's been a few fish out overnight, which we've been around filming, and we've just had a really nice breakfast dropped off by Timmy straight to our swims. And just before breakfast, I had a screaming take on my right hand margin spot. And obviously it's quite special being a koi, but it also involves a nice bottle of champagne if you catch a koi or a carp over 40 pounds. So that's going to go down well later. Funnily enough, we actually saw this fish on the first day in the snags to the right of me. A couple of days later, it's in the net.
What we got this evening?
Let's have a look.
Oof. Tell you what, while you're having a look, I'll crack these open.
Sounds good to me. We've got steak and chips.
Happy days.
Nice.
And a big dollop of mayo, that's what I like to see.
Big dollop of mayo.
I think the overriding feel of today has been quite a relaxed one.
Yeah, thank you very
Sun's
much.
been beaming once again. Very slow day, but
It's been a very hot day.
I think I might be away here.
You in?
My rod just knocked right round.
Can we take your beer?
Back.
No.
That's all right. But
Bit of excitement.
having a little half an hour with our food on one of the easier lakes.
There's a few nice koi in there as well, so it'd be always nice to see a little koi on the bank.
Weather's changing tonight, getting a bit cooler. Cloud coming in. I think weather conditions are going to be proper improved for a bit of fishing the next few days. Hopefully I'll manage to turn my luck around.
Yeah, tonight's the night. You have a big one tonight. Mega screamer, completely out of nowhere, and still out of breath now. I think it might take me a few days to recover after that run. Just slowly been edging in through all the weed beds out there. But he's definitely on his way through. Yes. Lovely Belgian mirror. God, really nice long fish, massive fins on him. Get in. So there we go. What a way to start the evening. 18.5 pound of Belgian mirror. Completely out of the blue, but hopefully it's a sign of things to come. I think get the rods back, get her back, and let's get the brew on.
You want to release it now, Luke?
Ghost carp.
Another beautiful one for Luke. It's all just kicked off in the last sort of 20 minutes or so. Just slipped his first one back. My rod's gone off. Got something quite special in the sling. He came to get some lenses and this beautiful 22.5, was it? 22.5 mirror. Hopefully it's a sign of things to come this evening. It seems to be kicking off a bit. Beautiful fish, mate. Now this fish, I'll tell you the story about it. It will be going back in Timmy's lake, but it wasn't quite caught from Timmy's lake. But don't take that away from the fact this is a beautiful fish. Let's get it out. All right, well, after another very hot day, you can probably see I'm a little bit sunburnt, and it's kicked off a little bit in the last hour or so. Myself and Luke were having a little bit of a chill out session, if I'm honest, on the stock pond just behind us, where there's lots of little fish we've seen cruising around. We thought a little bit of fun on the little 6-foot rods we've brought. And this on a 6-foot, 2-pound snide, 28 £10 common. And as it's come out the stock pond at this size, we've talked to Timmy, and he wants this to go into Timmy's lake. So hopefully this one can grow on into the future. I'm sure it won't be long until this one's into the 30s. But what an absolutely beautiful fish. And actually my second ever biggest common. So hopefully this is a sign of the night to come. I still want to catch some at Timmy's lake, but I'm not going to turn down a fish of this calibre, even if it is from the cheeky stock pond. Happy days. Thank you, mate. Oh, don't tell my missus I kissed it. One last look at the beauty before we slip it back. Just noticed quite a bit of activity on my margin spot just behind cameraman Luke. So hopefully something more will happen this evening. But thank you very much, mister. You've made my day, and hopefully we'll catch something even bigger this evening. Finally, a nice Belgian carp. Where's those beers? I need beer.
Thanks. Just straighten up.
I was closest to 30. Both got reds in the way of shot now.
Oh, yeah. I think so, yeah.
31-12.
Yep. Wicked.
Hold on, mate.
Oh, this is bad time.
You got a carp in your hand. Left me hanging.
So, midnight on day 3, and I was just getting myself ready for bed. The alarm out a few little bleeps, and lifted into this beauty of a Belgian carp. Just shy of £32, absolutely pristine. Awesome fish. Weeded me up a couple of times, managed to pump it through, and eventually waded out to meet it. An awesome carp. To show you the other side too. It's actually my first £30 plus common, so it's a PB common. What more could you ask for? What a lovely fish.
Well, the sun is just creeping up behind me, so it's illuminating the trees opposite in a lovely golden light, as it has done every morning. And unlike other mornings, I wasn't woken by Luke today. I was woken by my own alarms. So now I get the pleasure of going down and waking Luke up for a change. But before I do so, I'm going to get this rod back out, because hopefully where there's one, there's more than one, because that was quite a better bait I put out there. So hopefully I can get this out and still capitalise on the morning bite time. Well, here we go. Just got Luke out of bed, just in time for the sun to peer over the trees just behind my swim. So lighting up this lovely dark common in the early morning light. Probably only about 12, 13, maybe 14 pound. I haven't weighed it, but it's my first fish at the Timmy's Lake, and very, very welcome indeed. And that's on the trolley rod to the open water, clearer spot that I found with heavily baited approach. Rod's back out, so there's always a chance for more. Let's get it back. Beat me up a bit in the water, so I'm sure you won't take long to get back. Wrong way, buddy. Another brew?
So as you've seen, it's been a really eventful night. We started the evening really well, with me and Joe having 3 fish in the space of about an hour, including that really nice common of just shy of £30. A few hours later, one of my middle rods went off and I had my PB common, which it was an awesome fish. To see it's just a mad fish. By the time I got both of the rods back out on the spot, because it ended up wiping out both rods on that middle spot, it was about 1 in the morning, and Joe returned the favour this morning by waking me up at first light with a lovely little common. After a quick brew with him, little celebratory cuppa, I came back to my swim, and within about 10 minutes of being here, the right hand margin rod had ripped round, probably the most savage bite I've had so far. I was straight onto the rod, bent into it, and I was playing the fish, and somehow it managed to give me a clean break on £18 line. Now, I keep telling myself that it was just a weak spot in the line, however, you don't know quite what it could have been, so I feel like there's a score to settle again. Hopefully something will happen tonight.
Well, I was just getting ready to bring the zigs in because they've done nothing for probably a good 4 hours or so, and it's come off. I was about to say I've had a fish on a zig. And this is the point you stop camera and I can say I'm just about to check my margin spot to see if there's any bait still there, because yesterday when I checked it there was still some bait in there, suggesting that I hadn't been visited by any carp, so I'm not going to get any pickups from it. If there's still bait there now, I think I'm going to bin that spot off for the final evening, because it's not produced as likely as it looked. It just hasn't done the business for me. The one take I have had, well, second take now, has been from the slightly clearer patch, about 15 wraps out in front of me. So if there's still bait there, I'm going to put 2 jollies out on the far spot for the final evening. Still got a loss that one on the zig, and that is why I don't like using zigs, but I saw some people absolutely swear by them. Never mind, win some, you lose some. Let's go check. Absolutely littered with boilies, so I'm not going to be fishing that spot for tonight. 2 rods, I'm going to go straight out on that slightly clearer area. So probably going to get in the boat, go out to where the spot is, fill it in a bit more, and hopefully last evening with 2 rods on a productive spot, I might be able to nick a few more bites.
So, just finished our dinner, a lovely burger which Timmy dropped off to our swim, and I had 1 beep on my margin rod and got back to the swim and it's bent right round, locked up, just waded out very slightly and managed to get the right angle to land this lovely leather. Bang on £27, another awesome fish. Wicked. So thank you, Timmy, for coming down to have a chat with me, and obviously we're here to find out a little bit more about your lakes.
Yeah.
So obviously there's a few lakes on the complex. We're sitting on Timmy's lake now. Yeah. So how big is Timmy's in acres? How big?
Timmy is 16 acres, and the other 2 lakes are 6 acres.
Okay, so you've got quite a bit of water around you.
Yeah.
Okay, so in terms of difficulty, I guess that each of the lakes is a different sort of difficulty.
Of course, yeah. Timmy's lake is very hard with clear water and a lot of weed in the water. Yeah. And Tinnis lake is medium water. There are no snakes in the water. Okay. And Raiden's lake is very easy. It's also no snakes and a lot of fish. Okay, well, in terms of fish stock, what does Timmy's lake hold? What do the other lakes hold? Okay, Timmy's lake has 450 carps on it, and the biggest now is 57 pounds. Oh wow! We got also catfish on this lake, and the 1/3 of the fish is above 30 pounds. Cool. So it's very nice to fish here. Yeah. We got also 7 kois on it, so it's very nice to see them. You see them often just cruising around, and on Tinnis Lake we got fish till 40 pounds, and sturgeon, catfish, very big ones. Oh wow! So yeah, it's nice. And Raiden's Lake we got 300 fish, so it's very easy, and we got also sturgeons and catfish on that water also. Right, so there's something for every type of angler, really. Oh, perfect. Yeah. So before coming here, obviously I had a quick look online, and some of the reviews, they're amazing. Everyone's saying how helpful you are as a host, and what a brilliant host you are. Yeah, and so I mean we've seen that ourselves, and it's been a great experience being here. Yeah. So thanks. Yeah. Very nice to hear. Yeah, well, no, you're welcome. Yeah. When people are here, and I'm every day on the lake. So when I see people in trouble with rigs or something like that, always are there for helping him. And just we talk about the rigs, and when they cannot prepare them, I help. So I got also a tackle shop, so when they need some stuff, they can buy it here. Yeah.
That's always helpful, isn't it? So,
yeah, of course.
Oh, perfect. And obviously, I can't do an interview without mentioning the food package. It's been amazing. It's been really good food all week.
Okay, yeah.
So,
I love to cook, so yeah.
I think I've put on a fair bit of weight since being here.
Okay. I have a present for you. You got a koi.
I did.
This session, so my son has for you a flask of champagne. So
wow.
everybody that gets a koi on this lake get a fresh champagne, or when they got a fish above 40 pounds.
Yep.
So then they get this one.
Well, this is going to go down very, very well tonight. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Cool,
You
right.
earn it.
Okay, and one more question whilst you're here. How is it living right on a lake like this?
Pretty fine.
Yeah?
You have the outside, it's very, very beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, you can get friends. If kids come here in the summer or spring, when it's vacation. And when it's ice, it's just silence.
Yeah.
That's also great.
Amazing. Well, it is a lovely place that you have to call home. So, thank you very much.
Okay. Enjoy it.
I will. Well, what a week it's been. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
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 Cheers, Timmy.
Cheers, Joe.
Cheers.
One of us has to work. Give me that, 3510. Yes. First Belgian 30 after my first Belgian 20 yesterday. I'll tell you that. And there we go. I'm always seem to be a bit of a slow burner on these long sessions. Takes me a few days to get my eye in, I think. But finally, the biggest one of the trip, 35 pound 10. Only my third ever 30, so very, very welcome. Rather strange shape when I saw that gob come up at first. Thought it might have been even bigger, but I am not going to complain at that. And hopefully there's more to come, because I put a lot of bait out there earlier. Fish have been showing like mad. Yes. Result. 18. Well, here we go. 28 pound common. Finally a fish on my margin spot. I've been putting a lot of work into that. Started off raking it out, clearing it out with my waders, making it a nice smooth, clear area to present a rig, baiting it over the last few days, and finally this one slipped up. Lovely hard fighting 28 pound common. Let's get it back. Beautiful.
Well, what a morning. Brace of 30s for me. Had to call in an extra pair of hands, being Mark from the Carp Specialist, who's arranged an awesome trip. So thank you very much for sorting that, Mark.
I would shake your hand. I've almost got one free.
No worries, guys.
And,
you're always welcome at our venues.
Oh, thanks, Mark.
Up with a little tiddler.
Look at that.
But they're all welcome.
Here we go, guys.
All right.
Show it one more time.
There we go. How about that?
What?
Welcome to Belgium.
Here we go.
Next adventure. Mine's ready to go.
Yeah, mine is. What a mock.
Onwards.
I think that went surprisingly all right in the end.